What's up, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. Let's talk about Teen Mom 2 star David Eason. Well, should I say former Teen Mom 2 star David Eason getting fired from the show. So it all started when he got a Twitter account, for the first time ever, and this fool did not know how to act one bit. And I, for one, am grateful for it. Literally, within the same week that he started Twitter, he went on a massive tirade. First of all, the day of the shooting, the massive school shooting that just went down that saw about 15 kids die, he posted a photograph of Janelle with a massive rifle of sorts. And he knew that he was being a piece of shit about this, because he literally captioned it by saying, "Is it okay if I post this picture today?" Obviously referencing the great tragedy. And of course, he was dragged to hell and back via his followers, and rightfully so. And he obviously couldn't take the heat, so he instead chose to lash out by spewing all sorts of ignorant hatred towards the LGBT community. And you guys, first of all of these screenshots are coming from a website called teenmomtruths.tumblr.com. That's the only way that I caught up on all of the drama that I missed while it was going down. So let's start off with David replying to someone who had advised him to stop idolizing gun culture in his household, to do his part to reduce, the chances of his own children being school shooters or anything like that. And he responded by saying, "And what makes you think you have the right to tell me how to be a parent? Because you think you know me? LMAO. Why don't you go tell the homo and transgender parents to start teaching their kids better morals? Oh, I forgot, that's supposed to be normal." Someone responded by saying, "Who are you to say what's normal or what's moral? Are you going to teach your children to hate gay and transgender people?" David responded by saying, "No, I'm going to teach them not to associate with them or be that way. If you lay down with dogs, you get up with fleas." Next up, the guy who started this whole conversation responded to him by saying, "You have much hate in your heart. May God have mercy on your soul." David responded by saying, "God will have mercy on me, but not those who are an abomination." How absolutely rich is it that someone like David Eason is running around calling people abominations and talking about how he doesn't want his children to associate with them, when all other normal people are trying to teach their children not to associate with people like David Eason, career criminals, violent people with no morals or ethics, grown-ass men with no real jobs who just mooch off of reality star women. It's absolutely crazy how, highly he thinks of himself, and how stupid he is to even believe that you can teach a child to not be gay or transgender or something like that. Just, stupid as shit. But again, this is David Eason. His parents are probably siblings, so I'm not too surprised. Next up, someone tweeted him by saying, "I'm pro-gun, but I have to ask about the remarks regarding LGBTQ. My daughter is a lesbian and is one of the most perfect acting kids I've ever seen. We don't teach hate at my home regarding anything unless it's dangerous." And David says, "Well, if she is lesbian, then she won't be able to have kids, right? Or she could adopt some troubled children and confuse them even more, right?" What? I feel like David had to be high or something here, because this whole statement was unintelligible. There's literally no rhyme or reason to why he would even say something like that. It was absolutely bizarre. So of course, their Teen Mom co-stars took to Twitter to share their own opinions and condemn David for all of his, homophobic, LGBTQ phobic remarks. And it started off with Kale saying, "Hopefully MTV will be addressing this soon. I just don't understand how the network is allowing them to get away with this." Leah also jumped in saying they need help. "Something needs to happen. This is all disturbing to say the least, but not surprising." And then Leah's ex-husband, Jeremy Calvert, first of all, went on Instagram Live. I don't even know why. And second of all, took to Twitter to further push for MTV to fire David. He tweeted, "I have a pretty good idea how to fix shit. Why don't everyone band together and say F filming together another damn thing until they cut two people loose from the show." Now, you guys, I of course think what David said was, awful, inexcusable, and has no place on MTV. But at the same time, I want to go back and say MTV already has shown that they don't really care about this sort of thing, because remember the last reunion, David did say something like this on air, and LGBT and MTV, not only aired it on television, but they didn't reprimand him either. So it's quite clear that they don't actually care about this sort of thing. It's just the outrage surrounding it that's, you know, going to make or break whether or not they fire him. And to also call out Jeremy here, it's really rich to me that someone like him would go like this far to condemn David, considering he's a piece of shit his damn self as well. Remember, Jeremy once went on like a racist tirade on Twitter when he found out that Leah started seeing this black guy named tirade. You know, he was like, ew, her next baby's gonna be an Oreo, you know. And then on air, the last season of Teen Mom 2 as well, when Leah talked about wanting to send their daughter to Mexico on vacation, he and his dad made a lot of like really covertly racist comments about like Mexico and Mexicans, and Jeremy even flat out said, I just don't like Mexico and stuff like that. So it's kind of like, well, Jeremy, come on, like you too have had your fair share of like really sketchy moments. And then Kale, if even to this day, if you go look at her likes, you'll see a lot of her likes involve like racist things, which is quite funny, you know, in a sad way, considering she's raising a biracial son. Like, she's got a lot of weird things about all these racist things that she calls black privilege and stuff. And like, she spent her entire summer going on this creepy, disgusting, hunt for like a brown bae to impregnate her, like her obsession with black, like she is so weird. She's like a weirdly racist but obsessive person at the same time. So, you know, she could have gotten fired for all of the racism that she still has publicly available in her like folder on Twitter. And then Leah was literally driving around high out of her mind with her damn children. We've seen her on television just about drop her brother's child because she was so friggin' high. So, you know, where does MTV draw the line if this is what's going to get someone fired? Yeah, it's wrong, absolutely, that David went on this tirade against the LGBT community, but it's not the first time he's done it. Jeremy and Kale have, you know, said some pretty racist ass things, and Leah has been strung out of her mind while transporting her kids and carrying other people's kids as well. So it's kind of like, what is fireable, you know, by MTV standards, because none of these things seem to have been. So to me, I think it is all the outrage that you guys had towards what he said that pushed MTV to actually end up firing him in the first place. Like, I do not for a single second believe that they actually really care one way or the other about what he had to say. One person who chimed in on Jeremy's suggestion about the girls banding together to stop filming until Janelle and David are fired is Chelsea's dad, Randy Huska. He tweeted saying about that idea, so Chelsea and others have to give up their livelihood and opportunity to show good examples while David gets to broadcast his hate and ignorance? Nope. And then someone hit him with the best comeback ever, which is a photo of Chelsea, Kale, and a couple of the other girls as well in a no hate campaign, saying, I guess this was a pointless campaign if they won't stand against it now. And I 100,000% wholeheartedly agree and want to say, you know, Randy, these girls are literally a week away from 30 on a show called Teen Mom. So if this reality show literally is their only livelihood and they've got all these children to care for, like, they kind of, you know, need to take the L, because this is not a real life career. And, you know, you do have to stand for something or fall for anything. And second of all, I don't really think any of these people really do what this show calls for, which is set a proper example. Like I said, Leah is like a pretty, you know, Leah spent a full season being strung out of her mind, you know, half-assed parenting her kids. Kale, the whole multiple baby daddy thing, all that garbage surrounding the birth of her child Lux, like the mess that she got into while she was married, pregnant by another man, all of that stuff. And Chelsea, although she isn't involved in any real scandals, she isn't a great example either, because she had every opportunity in the world to really succeed in life, and she chose to live a pretty mediocre, you know, existence. So no, I don't think that these girls are doing anything that really, you know, needs to be seen in the world, especially considering the fact that they're pushing 30 and haven't really accomplished all that much of anything, barring Kale and her degree, which she still has yet to put to good use. Now, before the hammer dropped, Janelle went to TMZ to give a statement about how she felt about everything that went down on David's timeline. And she said, and I quote, "David didn't understand how offensive people would get or how Twitter even works. Now that he realizes his voice is very strong within media and tabloids, he has deactivated deleted his account. He agrees that he will keep his comments to himself from now on. She continued on to say that David doesn't hate people from the LGBT community. My old manager was gay and used to be one of me and David's close friends. We attended Farrah Abraham's birthday in Miami with a lot of LGBT people and he didn't act in any type of way. We went and had a good time and laughed. We're sorry for the comments that were made. Now, of course, Janelle's statement didn't do much to calm down the public outrage because she never really apologized for the sentiment behind his comment and how dangerous they were for the LGBT community. She literally just said, I'm sorry that he said what he felt like. You know, next time he won't do it because he knows a lot of people are watching and can get pissed off and could snatch our check away from us. And then, of course, a lot of you guys went directly to advertisers because you weren't seeing action from MTV immediately, and you managed to get like quite a few of them to pull their advertising from the show. And so MTV woke up to the power of you and released the following statement. Official statement from MTV Press. David Eason's personal comments do not reflect the views of MTV. With 6 weeks left of production on Teen Mom 2, effective immediately, we are ending our relationship with him. Now, you guys, that does it. The hammer has already officially dropped on what is probably the only job that David has managed to hold down for more than like 2 weeks. And the Eason household is down one reality television check. How do you think this will impact their relationship, considering how money hungry David Eason seems to be and all of the fights that Janelle has with him that were such a big part of her storyline last season? Like, are we gonna go back to focusing on her just fighting with her mother alone and her relaying David's sentiments without actually showing him? It's gonna be kind of complicated to see how the first half of the next season of Teen Mom 2 is gonna compare to the second half of it, because obviously all the footage that they shot with him is going to remain. It's just the new stuff that's not going to make it. And so that's going to be quite interesting to see how they cover it and how that affects their relationship as well. I personally think that this is one more thing that's probably going to make their relationship deteriorate faster than it already has. But enough about my thoughts. Like, just so you guys know, I'm really happy to see David Eason gone from MTV's Teen Mom 2. I am not at all surprised by his statements though, because like I said, he's already made them on television, and his sister is also like a piece of trash. She says a lot of really like racist, homophobic type things on the internet as well, even though she tries to get into, like, you know, you guys, the fans, good graces by hating David and Janelle. She is just as garbage as they are. And so, you know, good riddance to bad rubbish is what I have to say here. Do I think that Janelle is also going to be fired? No, absolutely not. Because what is the show without Janelle? I mean, Kale's got like her trashy life with all the baby daddies, but it's not as dramatic and as intense as Janelle's life. Chelsea's, you know, just like a commercial filler for a few, you know, clips per episode. We don't really see her all that much. Brianna is boring and annoying as hell. She literally just stays in that apartment and does all of nothing. And now that Leah has sobered up, she doesn't really get that much airtime either. So I don't see Janelle leaving. It's going to be just her and Barbara duking it out for the remainder of the next season of Teen Mom 2. Now, leave all of your thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below. And as usual, we'll chat. You can also like this video, subscribe for more, feel free to share it with your friends as well, and follow me across social media where I absolutely love chatting with you. That's all for now. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.